By the way, we didn't have it on the agenda, but did you see that GameStop is buying Bitcoin?
You know, my favorite part of it was the press release was just, we approve the buying of Bitcoin. No reference
Like
to
today's, right?
Yeah, no reference to like why. Just we're just buying Bitcoin. You should know.
Well, today they put out something. I mean, I should have prepared more for this, I guess. But like they put out some, they offer some sort of instruments or something. I saw it like right before I came
Like
here.
a convertible debt Saylor thing.
Yeah, like it's getting serious. I think that was like Bitcoin kind of ripped right at the end of the day, and I think that's why, because after the stock market closed, they made this announcement and we started ripping. And it's an interesting question of, is this relevant, right? And the market's kind of trash right now, and I think we're kind of in like a sell the news mentality.
Yeah.
But it's like worth considering. I mean, they got like 4.5 billion or so in more. I think 4.7 billion in cash on their balance sheet. That's no joke.
If they run the same Saylor playbook, aren't they kind of like the alternative coins, the altcoins of what we typically see in crypto? Like Bitcoin was the original, Saylor is the original, MicroStrategy is the original, and then you see everyone else run the same playbook. And does it have as much juice as if they keep running the same playbook? I guess it's still money being put into the flows.
I mean, it's an interesting question. I feel like it's definitely bullish for Bitcoin. I think it's an interesting question of like, how bad is it for MicroStrategy? Like, is it good for MicroStrategy because we're setting this like flywheel effect of like every desperate dead company coming in and just becoming like a Bitcoin treasury company, and then that kind of boosts their thing? Or does this sort of dilute like the offerings that they're making to the market in a particular way, because they're not the only game in town anymore?
Yeah, I mean, at its core, it's a treasury management play, and so maybe the novelty of the play just kind of like dies out, and people remember what it's for. Oh, you just have a treasury that may go up in value, but we're not going to sign the same premium because, well, there's quite a few companies doing it. But Saylor was a fan. He was promoting it.
I mean, it's got to be happy. I think he's happy even if MSTR does kind of bad. I don't think he cares about the MSTR. He's just been rugging the MSTR holders for months at this point. So I don't know how much he even cares about the stock price. I think he cares more about Bitcoin price at this point. But yeah, like I think the essence of all these strategies is they're just like repackaging the asset in a way that strips away volatility, right? So that it's like a interesting. They're just doing some sort of like vol arbitrage, basically, and then they're capturing that premium and like putting it back into the company. And it's an interesting. It's simultaneously like really interesting, but also it's one of those things where you just look at it and you're like, what is this?
Yeah, like
timeline we live in.
At what point does it become such a fucking joke, right? Like you have these real companies that are becoming dormant or obsolete, and they're just using the newest financial engineering tricks just to let the existing bag holders find an exit.
It reminds me of crypto in a way, because I think in crypto we created these assets, right? And initially there was this like kind of facade of seriousness, like, and we were like worried about cash flows and stuff. And then it eventually devolved into like, everything is a meme. And then the memes themselves were basically devolved into like, we're all just scamming ourselves, right? We're all just scamming each other. And it all completely went to hell. So I wonder if TradFi is just kind of like a step behind on that, because there is a similar element in TradFi where like there are these companies that are just basically memes. Yeah. They're just memes, right? And even the best companies in the S&P, like I feel like everybody's just written off like earnings multiples at this point. Like we just have all these reasons why they don't. Oh, what's the P that of the index right now? It's like enormous. It just keeps going up, and then we create these reasons why, like, oh well, yeah, it's the earnings of the company it doesn't matter that much anymore. Now you have passive flows from all the retirement funds, and it's just like, what are we doing here? If we're not investing in future cash flows, what are we doing? And then as everything becomes like more of like a meme and less attached to like reality, less attached to like real value, then you get this effect where you get a GameStop and they're like, all right, fuck it. Yeah, we're just buying Bitcoin, and then like everybody does this, and is this like the unraveling of capitalism in real
It's like
time?
the hyper financialization that we've seen in crypto applying to TradFi. We
were just early in crypto, maybe,
well,
early but not wrong.
we're seeing a little